The Indian Air Force is satisfied at the rate of progress of the indigenous UTTAM Aesa fire control radar, which is under development for the Tejas Mk2 program and even likely to be used for Tejas Mk1A Block 2 batches, and have backed a proposal to develop a scaled-up UTTAM Aesa radar to be used for other fighter jets. Deputy Chief of Air Force Air Marshal Sandeep Singh, for the first time, has confirmed that IAF is keen that a scaled-up UTTAM Aesa radar is developed particularly for Su-30 MKI fleet. Scaled-up UTTAM Aesa radar basically will leverage large nose cone space, which is available to its advantage, allowing it to be adapted to aircraft nose limitations. Scaled-up UTTAM Aesa radar will feature a larger antenna size with more transmit-receive (TR) modules. UTTAM Aesa radar under development will feature 700 TR modules for Tejas Mk1A and Tejas Mk2 program. But later versions of the Tejas Mk2 might get slightly upscaled UTTAM Aesa radar with 1000 TR modules. And the same might be also used on the TEDBF jet, which will be developed for the carrier-based requirement for the Indian Navy. Su-30 MKI enjoys bigger nose cone space, which means a larger antenna size with 1200 to 1300 TR modules can be developed if it can meet its 8 to 10 kW power requirement. LRDE is also working to develop next-generation gallium nitride semiconductors, which will have better performance in terms of electronic countermeasures, small target detection, and wider bandwidth than most current AESA sensors that employ gallium arsenide TR modules, while consuming less power and generating less heat. GAN radar might be first seen in the 5.5th generation AMCA fighter jet and might be later adopted to other fighter fleets. The government recently approved the induction and deployment of the 700 km range surface-to-surface supersonic Shaurya strategic missile, even as there has been progress in development of 5000 km range K-5 submarine launched ballistic missile. People familiar with the matter said on condition of anonymity. They added that the 800 km range subsonic Nirbhay cruise missile will be tested in the next couple of weeks and be inducted into both Indian Army and Navy shortly after. Limited number of Nirbhay missiles have already been deployed in response to the Chinese buildup in Tibet and Xinjiang, according to top missile experts. Shaurya is a delivery system stored in a composite canister for rapid deployment and minimum interaction with the elements. The strategic missile flies within the atmosphere at a height of 50 kilometers. The experts added that government's decision to go for land version is significant, as the missile can be launched by a single vehicle. DRDO is also making rapid strides in the development of 5000 km version of the submarine-launched ballistic missile of SLBM, with a range equivalent to Agni 5 land-based ballistic missile. The K-5 will be deployed on board the Arihant class of nuclear submarines. Taiwan has spent almost $900 million this year on scrambling its air force against Chinese incursions, the island's defense minister said on Wednesday, describing the pressure they are facing as great. China, which claims democratic Taiwan as its own territory, has stepped up its military activity near the island, responding to what China calls collusion between Taiwan and the United States. China has been angered at increased U.S. support for Taiwan, including visits by senior U.S. government officials and ramped-up arms sales. In the past few weeks, Chinese fighter jets have crossed the midline of the Taiwan Strait, which normally serves as an unofficial buffer zone, and flown multiple missions into Taiwan's southwestern air defense identification zone. Speaking at Parliament, Taiwan Defense Minister Yen Dafa said the Air Force had scrambled 2,972 times against Chinese aircraft this year at a cost of $886.49 million. INS Vikrant, India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, will undergo the basin trials or testing in waters with its systems and equipment fitted this month. Considered an important phase for the under-construction aircraft carrier. The basin trials were earlier planned for September, but the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown slowed the pace of work. If everything goes according to plan, the sea trials of the IAC will be held in December, sources said. The Indian naval ship Vikrant is expected to be inducted into the Indian Navy by the end of 2021. Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Karambir Singh, during his visit to the Southern Naval Command headquarters in Kochi from September 14 to 18, had visited the Kochi shipyard, along with other senior officers, to review the progress of the indigenous aircraft carrier, IAC-1. At an advanced stage of construction, the IAC-1. Technically, it can be called the INS Vikrant only after its induction into the Indian Navy, is the largest and most prestigious shipbuilding project of the Indian Navy. When contacted for comments, the Navy spokesperson neither denied nor confirmed the development. The harbour trials of the IAC was completed in August this year. Sources said the basin trials were being held for proving the propulsion, transmission and shafting systems. This can be tested only in water. The INS Vikrant will weigh around 40,000 tons and its fighters will operate on short takeoff, but a rested recovery mechanism similar to the current carrier, INS Vikramaditya, with an angular ski jump. The Defense Ministry has not yet reached any conclusion over procurement of 30 armed drones from US-based General Atomics, as the Indian Air Force has raised apprehensions over their usefulness. The deal is valued at approximately $3 billion, with the disputed borders with China and Pakistan active at the same point of time. The Defense Ministry has clearly stated that they are not in a hurry to sanction procurement in name of emergency. During deliberations over the issue in the ministry, apprehensions were raised over the armed drones' efficacy in the current threat situation. Chief of Defense Staff General Bipin Rawat, who has been tasked to look into inter-services defense acquisitions, was present during the discussion. Sources said that the Air Force has stated that drones, even when armed, would be ineffective in contested airspace. India was earlier looking for procurement of 30 drones from General Atomics. The three services were expected to get 10 plus 10 plus 10 of the MQ-9 Reaper, which has already been approved by US President Donald Trump's administration. MQ-9 has an endurance of over 27 hours, speeds of 240 knots true airspeed, can operate up to 50,000 feet, and has a 1,746 kg payload capacity that includes 1,361 kg of external stores. The aircraft carries 500% more payload and has 9 times the horsepower. It provides a long endurance, persistent surveillance or strike capability for the warfighter.